What if the moment you felt most alone was when God was closest? Sarah stood on a rainy street in Atlanta, holding an eviction notice. Rain mixed with her tears, and her heart felt heavy. "I've lost everything," she said softly. But in that dark moment, a small act of kindness was about to change her life. Sarah Thompson was 28, a graphic designer with a bright smile. She grew up in Atlanta, singing in her church choir, always believing God had a plan for her. Her small apartment was full of colorful drawings, each one a piece of her dreams. She loved sketching at night, humming songs like Amazing Grace, trusting everything would be okay. But life can change fast. One sunny morning, Sarah went to her office, a busy place with computers and bright posters. She was laughing with her friend Mia when her boss called her in. "Sarah, I'm sorry," he said, handing her a letter. "The company is cutting jobs. You're let go." Sarah's heart sank. She had no savings, no plan, just a letter and a box to pack her things. At home, Sarah sat on her old couch, staring at the letter. Her phone rang. It was her mom, Grace, whose voice was warm and strong. "Mama, I'm scared," Sarah said, her voice shaking. "Bills are coming, and the landlord wants me out." "Pray, Sarah," Grace said. "God is with you, always." That night, Sarah knelt by her bed, her Bible open to Psalm 23. "The Lord is my shepherd," she read, her voice quiet. But fear was loud in her heart. She touched the words, hoping they'd feel true. Days turned to weeks. Sarah sent job applications everywhere. Design companies, small shops, anything. But every email said, "Sorry, not hiring." Her money ran out. She ate less, her fridge empty. The landlord left a note, "Leave in 30 days." Sarah started to doubt. Did God forget her? She stopped going to church, feeling too shy to face her friends there. One night, while packing to sell her things, Sarah found an old journal. Inside were her teenage drawings and a Bible verse she'd written, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart," Proverbs 3 verse 5. Tears came as she whispered, "I'm trying, God. It's so hard." To keep busy, Sarah volunteered at a soup kitchen. The smell of warm food and the sound of people talking made her feel less alone. There, she met James, a kind man in his late 50s. He served soup with a big smile, his eyes gentle. "You look tired, Sarah," James said one day, handing her a bowl. "It feels like the world's on my shoulders," she said, trying to smile. James looked at her kindly. "God's in the people around you, Sarah. Don't forget that." His words stayed with her, but the pain grew. Sarah walked past her church every day, its doors open, but she couldn't go in. She felt too small, too lost. The city, once full of color, looked gray. Her apartment felt like a cage, the eviction notice a constant reminder. One rainy night, Sarah stood on a dark street, holding the eviction notice. Rain soaked her clothes, and thunder shook the sky. She looked up, tears falling. "God, please show me a sign," she prayed, her voice breaking. She stood there, cold and alone, waiting. Then, headlights appeared. A car stopped. It was James, looking worried. "Sarah, come in, you're wet," he said. Sarah got in, shivering. "James, I can't do this anymore," she said, crying. "I'm losing everything." "You still have your faith," James said softly. "And you have us." James drove to the church, its lights warm through the rain. Inside, a small group of people waited, friends from her choir, neighbors, and Sister Mary, an older woman with a kind smile. On a table was a box with food, clothes, and a paper about a job at a design company. "We've been praying for you," Sister Mary said. "This is for you." Sarah's eyes filled with tears, but now they felt different, full of hope. She held the job paper tightly, like it was a promise. Her heart felt lighter, like a heavy cloud was lifting. The next day, Sarah worked on her drawings, praying with each one. She got an interview, then another. Soon, she got a job at a small design company. They loved her work and her heart. She moved into a new apartment, a simple place, but hers. She went back to the church choir, singing with joy she thought was gone. One Sunday, singing Amazing Grace, Sarah looked at the people around her, James, Sister Mary, her mom in the front row. She knew God was always there, in the journal's words, in James's smile, in the love of her church. The storm was over, but its lesson stayed. When life feels like a storm, hold on. God's light shines through the people who love you. You are never alone. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8 verse 28. Moral lesson. When life feels like a storm, hold on. God's light shines through the people who love you. You are never alone. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8 verse 28. Subscribe for more stories of faith and hope. Share your story in the comments. How has God's light shone in your life?